2019, the Fox-Disney merger happened, meaning that now Disney effectively has the rights back to Fantastic Four and the X-Men that they do have plans for. But 2019 is also the year we lose Spider-Man again. So most of you will have heard by now that the Sony-Disney relationship has broken down, and as a result of this, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is no longer due to be a part of the MCU, or won't appear in any more movies. And frankly, this is causing a major headache. For me, when I saw the news about this, I first thought to myself, oh, come on! Look, okay, you've had your breakdowns, you've had arguments, but can you not just hold it together for one more film? One more film to complete a MCU Spider-Man trilogy, and then you can bugger off back to your ivory towers and not speak to each other again for another 20 years. Okay, I know it might sound like I'm overreacting here, but just, it gets a little annoying after a while. For those who aren't familiar with the history, back in the late 1990s, Marvel were having financial problems. So what they did was auction off the movie rights to some of their most popular characters. Yeah, which, of course, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four got bought up by Fox, who saw them as potential kind of high reward properties, and of course Sony got Spider-Man, which led to, in the next few, while in the 1990s superhero movies were kind of on a bit of a shaky path, they did manage to do some good stuff with them in the next few years. For example, creating the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and Fox's X-Men. They managed to do some great things with those characters. But then, after after 2014, when they brought out Amazing Spider-Man 2, that didn't perform as well as expected, and then they fired Andrew Garfield from being Spider-Man. It kind of got a little complicated about Spider-Man from there. However, in 2015, it was announced that Sony and Disney had kind of reached a deal to bring Spider-Man into the MCU. Now, I personally at the time felt like this deal was too good to be true, that something would have happened, that it would all just be an internet hoax or whatever. But with the arrival of Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man joining the MCU, I was proved wrong, and they did manage to create a very enjoyable Spider-Man, a new one. They managed to create one created by Tom Holland, and it was great. Meanwhile, Sony still continued with their plans for kind of Spider-Verse things, or things based on stuff from Spider-Man, such as they managed to create a very entertaining movie with Venom. They still plan to release Morbius, and they even managed to create their own kind of Spider-Man movie with Into the Spider-Verse, which is very entertaining, and it is actually a great film. But meanwhile, the MCU got their chance to play with Spidey, and they did him fairly well, with him appearing in Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, and then later in Infinity War and Endgame, before getting another movie this year with Far From Home. But now we come to the present, and seemingly they've broken down again. To which I do kind of wish they could have held it together so that they could have one more Spider-Man movie as a part of the MCU and then go off and do their own thing. I mean, apparently Sony still do plan to continue on with the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, it's just they'll now no longer be linked to the MCU. Which feels a little bit of a shame. I mean, they still plan to go forward with their other stuff, such as a sequel to Venom and Morbius, and also supposedly a movie based on Silver Sable and Black Cat. I just kind of wish they could have sorted things out, so they could have kept going just for one more, but apparently the breakdown was due to money, monetary concerns, and I don't know. As I've said, I just kind of wish they could have held it together for one more, but I guess when these things break down, they really break down. So considering that Sony bought the rights to Spider-Man in 1999, and we eventually got several Spider-Man movies, and then put him part of the MCU, and then things broke down again in 2019. I presume we're going to have to wait another 20 years to see see Marvel work with Spider-Man again. So, Yeah, I was 2 when the deal first happened. I was 22 this year, so by the time they get around to creating Spider-Man as part of a big universe again, I'll probably be 42. But I guess it can't be helped. Anyway, let's just hope that they can manage to do some good things for Spider-Man over the next few years. Anyway, just my thoughts on the matter. Anyway, see ya.